one of the main things about living in the PNW is we like to show you the behind the scenes, the insiders. We like to highlight amazing builders like Cascade West is one we're standing in here, and keep you tuned in with all the hot up-to-date stuff that's happening in the PNW with builders right now. David, what can you tell me about this builder?
Like many builders, we've been following Cascade West for just year over year and just seeing how they've elevated to such a higher degree of building. I would say they're probably the highest and the best custom builder here in the Southwest Washington. Year over year, they've been at the parade, and once you come through their home like this one, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, so we're at this thing called the Parade of Homes right now, where this is really an exhibit of the greatest architecture and design the PNW has to offer. So we absolutely had to bring this today. So, but this builder, it hasn't always been the case that they've been at this top.
No, I mean, just like everybody, you know, you work through your glitches, you work through your operations, your details, but every time you come to the parade and you take a look at the quality, the details, I mean, I've seen a lot of homes. I've seen homes in the low end and then the very, very high end, and it's obvious Cascade West has taken this high end from high market and they're bringing it down to Southwest Washington. It's phenomenal.
Totally is. And I can only imagine how many people it actually takes to do this kind of thing. A lot of, you know, the people at home, they think, okay, a builder, they just think, oh, that's a company. A group of people that have created a community with a culture that makes things better every single time.
And remember, in our conversation, we talked about, you know, builders are like artists. They reflect their character and everything in their build. And one of the things talking to the owner of Cascade West is just, he said it took years to develop the proper team to run an operation like this. And it's so obvious. They as a team collaborate to bring in luxury, you know, to the client and to our community. All of this lighting, what I see year over year is they're bringing more natural light to the homes because, you know, in Northwest, we do get a lot of rain and it does look gloomy some days. So natural lighting is a big thing. And I really like how they're bringing in bigger slider doors, bigger entry doors. They're putting windows, skylights. I mean, they're bringing as much natural light, and you could tell once you come in here, the natural flow that's coming into this home.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Everywhere you look, just floor to ceiling glass, and then, you know, more light coming through the ceiling, exposed beams, all these kind of things that sort of allude to luxury.
Absolutely. Also, it's amazing when I've went to luxury homes like $30, $50 million homes down in the South, like Florida, or you go to New York, just bigger metro markets, and it's amazing to see that over the years, it's slowly transitioning. You know, those details are coming here. The brand companies are being brought into our homes. The light fixture companies, the brand names, they're being brought into our market, which used to be not the case.
Totally, right? Like the rest of the country kind of thought the PNW was a little bit behind everybody else, but in actuality, they call this area the Silicon Forest. We're definitely on the front of technology, and maybe 10 years ago, were any builders really even starting to enter in on this level?
I mean, pools was not a thing, right? But now you look at luxury and everybody wants a pool, wants a hot tub, and all these other features that, you know, builders just did not bring to our market.
Yeah, totally. With all the rain here, like no one wants to be cleaning leaves out of the pool when they don't even swim in it.
Correct.
It's a little different now.
Absolutely.
So I know we're gonna go through here and kind of take a look and show some of the design features and the highlights, some of the things that make this particular home unique, and also the whole parade of homes. If you haven't checked it out, look up the pictures online, find the information, and make sure you come out next year for the Parade of Homes here in Clark County, Washington.
One of the reasons the parade exists, I mean, maybe you can't add all the features to your home, right? But I mean, you come to the parade and you're like, hey, I really like that feature, or I like that feature. And a lot of people, that's what they take away from the parade. Just maybe one or two things that you can bring to your own house, make it a better space. Again, home is not just a home. It's a capital investment. It's an experience that brings and comes with you for the rest of your life. So maybe a little upgrade to your house, an idea that you could grab from the parade. That's why people come here, to grab an idea, bring it back to your own personal house.
But the important thing is that there's all these different things that can kind of, well, sort of make a home a little happier, can bring a little bit more joy to the inhabitants of it just by having specific design. So it's pretty cool to see in here.
So if you want to know more information about us living in PNW, about the parade, or about the builder, please click below and subscribe, and we'd love to follow what's happening here in the living in PNW.
If you are currently living in the PNW or considering moving to the PNW, make sure you reach out. We get calls and emails every day from people who are thinking of relocating or moving to this area, and we absolutely love it. We love to be a source of information for you. So if you have any questions or just want to give us a comment, let us know the types of videos that you want us to make for you, or just have a question. Make sure you get in touch in the link down below in the description. I'm standing here with Lisa Carlo, a phenomenal luxury agent from Keller Williams Premeir Partners here in Vancouver. And Lisa's kind of been involved with the builder here that we're standing inside one of the most incredible structures in Clark County. So you've been an agent in town for a while and you've kind of seen some of the changes. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen change-wise and what's going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually kind of a newer agent, and I came out on the scene and just kind of took the bull by the horns and jumped right into the new construction arena. And I have seen amazing growth with the national builders and the smaller builders. And I really have to say that my heart is for the smaller builders. My heart is for the custom homes, the quality homes. So I see all this construction going up with these bigger projects, but my heart is really for these smaller projects where these, like Cascade West is building these incredible custom homes, and they're really just doing exactly what the buyers want, and they're just going above and beyond with quality, with design, with finding the lots, with making things happen. That's truly what my heart's about with new construction, is just keeping it just, you know, beautiful, amazing quality, and, you know, what's next, basically. That's kind of what I'm excited about and what I'm seeing out here.
Right, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I can second that. There's some pretty cool things going on. Our area that we're in here, I'm also an agent with Keller Williams. We've seen a lot of growth, right? Like the amount of new construction here versus historically countrywide, and our number is really, really high. Do you say you do more work in the new construction arena than in resale?
Absolutely. Yes, David, he would ask me that question. He's like, what's your pie like for your business? And honestly, my pie is mainly new construction. I started out in open houses and retail. It's kind of a dying vine when it comes to a lot of, you know, with rates and just the math on it all. And new construction is exploding. I excel in new construction. You know, it's eating up most of the inventory, and there's lots of options, and there's lots of programs for interest rate buy downs and small, you know, small builds up to the luxury builds. Yeah, I mean, it's dominating.
Sounds like there's a lot kind of going on there that doesn't really hit the public that much. A lot of folks don't really know about all the growth, all the options, maybe the advantages with interest rates. Can you say that maybe your knowledge around this has something to do with working with the new construction division and learning from the Powered by Ground team?
Absolutely. Well, David Korniyenko has been mentoring me since probably the second week I got my license, and he feeds me little bits of nuggets of information I've basically been running with. And most buyers will walk through a new construction home first, and that's what they will see. And, you know, there aren't a lot of agents and brokers that are knowledgeable about working with sales of new construction companies, about working with spec builders, about the process. They don't even know which contract to use. So yeah, I've been learning a ton, and there is a lot to learn and a lot of opportunity for brokers. And we invite all the buyers and anybody just interested in real estate period to come out to open houses and just talk to us. It's always a fun conversation when you're talking to brokers that are passionate about our industry and about figuring out how to keep business moving along in one of the toughest markets, you know, that we've had in years. So
that's really interesting to hear that feedback, because I talk to a lot of brokers from a lot of agencies, and not a lot of them have this topic about communicating with other brokers and building knowledge within the community. It seems like there's a lot of climate out there of people trying to keep to themselves and hold their knowledge to themselves. Right. And so have you experienced something different with that, with Powered by Ground and with the type of agents that you're around here? Oh,
well, absolutely. I have been working with a lot of brokers, whether or not, you know, I'm getting compensation or not. I really feel the need to just kind of educate them. How do we get this deal to the closing table? Like, how do we get through some of these questions that the buyers are having? Like, well, I don't think this house will work for me because of XYZ. Well, maybe it will because of XYZ. And this is how we work through all of these things. And I am more than happy to just, you know, really get on the firing lines with the brokers and push deals through for everybody. And that's one thing that David is, I mean, he's freely giving out all this information to all the brokers. Yeah, I mean, brokers should come together and work together. And, you know, if you're passionate about it and you love what you do, like, let's, you know, figure out how to make this awesome.
So amazing. I mean, I can really hear that within this community, you felt the support, not just from David, but also from the other brokers that are involved here, you know, with the new construction division, all the players in the industry. And do you think that we'd be experiencing this kind of growth if we didn't have that sort of sense of community?
No, community is huge. I mean, you can't just, you know, sit there and do your own thing and not work together. Maybe there's competition, of course, but we all work together. And, you know, those at the top who collaborate are really, you know, we're not only creating better deals, but we're, you know, having integrity and all the things that make successful business people shine. That's, you know, what we're shooting to do.
Right, totally. Collaboration over competition any day, for sure.
Friendly competition, but you got to collaborate a little bit. Come on now.
If people want to get in touch with you or hear a little bit more about what you're up to, how do they find you?
So I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. I have my website, lisacarlorealestate.com. You could find me on Google. I'm at open houses every weekend. All of my contact information is on my website at lisacarlorealestate.com. So please reach out if you have any questions. I would love to chat.
We'll also make sure all of that information is in the details below the video. So make sure and click those links and give us a follow, give Lisa a follow, tap in, let us know if you have any questions.
Welcome everyone, and we have Ron today with us from Cascade West. We're here at the parade. I say probably one of the best homes I've seen year after year coming to the parades. We've talked a lot with you about, and off camera also, about how over the years you've been able to facilitate team. I mean, it's not a one-man show. Can you talk a little bit about maybe your team, your designers, your on-site project, how you got this big of a home on this lot built within 12 months? How does that work?
Well, definitely takes a team, project managers, office support, admin, all of that. It takes everybody to make it happen for sure. Not to mention all the subcontractors and vendors, having to be on point and supply everything and provide everything in a timely and efficient manner. Starting with this home, the process of building a parade house or any house on acreage or a large lot, we start with a blank slate, like you said, an empty canvas. We show up and we look at the lot and we look at what the lot has to offer. Sometimes that's a view, sometimes it's southern exposure, sometimes it's beautiful trees or something, but whatever that lot has to offer, we try and, kind of put our finger on that. And if there's multiple items and, how do we move things around in the house to capture all of those different elements, especially in this environment, this specific lot where we have $1.2 million lot, you don't want to just plop any old house on there and go for it. We listen to the client, we listen to what their needs are, what they want to capture, what we want to capture as a builder. We look at exposure, the amount of light we can bring into the home. This particular couple, 3 young children, they want to grow here. They want to grow into the house, not grow out of it. So it was kind of capturing a place where, they would kind of be the cool house on the block and be able to have birthday parties and play on the trampoline and enjoy the view. So something for everyone, something for the kids, something for the adults, something for the entire family.
Watching your company year after year, how's it that you decide to bring, all of this into our market? I mean, I've been at so many parades. I mean, I followed you when you guys kind of launched your company, and year over year, how's it that you decide, we're going to bring this light fixture or this luxury brand name into this home? How do you guys come? Do you go to trade shows and then you decide to bring it in? I mean, all this texture that we've talked about, like every wall has a different style in this home. How does that come together?
Well, I can't take all the credit for all the textures because that's definitely more on the designer and the consumer side. We do have an amazing designer, which is Ashley Shaddy. She does a phenomenal job. She works closely with some wallpaper companies and really brings all that together. But I think what makes us different is, every year we go to, the home show down in Vegas. There's something really cool at that event that most people don't. There's classes and there's halls you can go and look at products. Every year I go, they actually have a tour of homes, and you can tour like the top 20 homes in the Vegas market. And when you're touring those homes, you're not touring, entry-level 550K product. You're touring product that's between 3.5 all the way up to 20 million. I think that gives me a lot of inspiration. Last year, the house we went through was, I think, $17.5 million. And when you go through a home like that, you fill up your phone with videos and photos, and you see things, and you see a tremendous amount of like new ideas, you see trends, you see just amazing products, you see things that you've never seen before. And the first thing we do is we come back and start pouring that onto paper. And we share that with our designers, we share it with our clients, hey, this is what we're seeing down in Vegas. We also go to Scottsdale market as well. There's some incredible architects down in the Scottsdale market, so we tour a lot of products in that market, which is pretty trendy market as well. And I think really just sharing all of that with our clients, and a lot of these clients, I think as you and I were talking earlier, I mean, they're coming from those markets anyway. They're coming from Southern California, they're coming from Phoenix because it's getting too hot. They're coming from Vegas, they're coming from, all of these fairly high-end markets, and their expectation is this level of product product, and all you got to do is give it to them.
And I really appreciate you pioneering that. And maybe you don't see the ripple effect, but we observe a lot of builders and just a lot of other, and the parade does its job, I think. And that's one of the things we're doing on our tour. We said, a lot of homeowners come in and then they like one thing and then they bring it back to their home, right? Because we say home is not just, an asset or a place people live, it's a whole experience, right? Thousands of people who are going to tour this place, it's an experience, right? They're getting to see a new market, new trends, new evolution of real estate taking place right here in their own backyard, because they don't have an opportunity to go to Vegas. They don't have an opportunity to go to Florida, that like I went and looked at $1 million homes and all of these features. So if you were to take like the features that are in this home, what would you say eventually would become maybe a norm for you, going into the next 5 years?
I think one of the things that we are focusing heavily on is indoor, the bringing the outside in, that indoor-outdoor living. I think that's probably the fastest growing segment of the market. We're getting warmer here. We're having, warmer, longer summers. Spring is turning on a little earlier each year in some cases. So I really think that the stacking doors and the moving wall systems, I think that's where our focus is going to be. I want to get to the point where, we put a 20-foot stacking door or a 15-foot stacking door standard in every home, just to elevate what people can do with those homes, once they move in, and kind of get people excited about spending more time in their own house and outside and enjoying what their house has to offer.
What do you call that window on hydraulics that goes up? What's the name? I've never seen that.
The company is OptView, but it's technically a serving window. So I think it's pretty cool.
It's really awesome.
It doesn't matter whether you're entertaining, guests, or whether you have a birthday party and you're making sandwiches, for all the kids swimming and eating lunch. You can use it. It's multifaceted for sure.
So between the whole process, you take a client, and this is for our viewers, from the start when you meet with your client to the very end, what would you say a home like this, or we'll talk a little bit about other communities, how long is the process? What should people prep themselves for? Like, they have a first sit down, and then usually it's like 3 months of prep and then permitting construction. Can you just give us a 1,000 bird view of the process so people and viewers can understand how this all comes? And they'll definitely ask a lot more questions and visit your site, but maybe you can just run through that.
Yeah, I would say that the typical process, we like to tell everybody, it's 12 months. From the initial meet and greet, where we can understand what the client's looking for, help them develop a conceptual game plan. A lot of times we'll sit down and we'll just come up with a concept, kind of expand on that concept based on what they're looking for, I should say. Hopefully we have a lot, because that's really the first part. We'll visit the lot, take a peek, and then come up with that conceptual game plan. Once we have that, we can price it out. And once we price it out, we can start to cultivate that a little bit, add more finishes, take finishes away, decrease or increase the price, or increase or decrease square footage, and adjust it specifically to what the customer is looking for. Once we do that, we put together all the paperwork, move forward with building and permitting. The permitting process typically on average is 4 to 6 weeks in most jurisdictions. So that process there is about 3 months, and that leaves us 9 months to build.
And for our viewers, can you say what are the developing communities? So going from here, if they were to follow you in the Southwest Washington, where are the communities you're at right now, and what are you working, say, in the next 24 months?
Probably our most popular community right now is the Trails at Whipple Creek. That's one of our newest communities. Incredible setting, it's in South Ridgefield, easy access to the freeway. Anyway, that's a phenomenal community. It's surrounded by 400 acres of green space. I think you got 250 acres of regional park with walking trails and another 150 acres of community parks. The setting's perfect, like I said, close to the freeway. You got Costco, you can hub off of Salmon Creek, you can hub off of Ridgefield. It's just pretty much very central location. We also have Firestone Ridge and Camas. That's an incredible location as well, probably even closer to the freeway. That's a growing, Camas is always a highly sought after community to be a part of. It's fast, it's growing. It's kind of the place to be in Clark County if you're going to be on the east side of town. That community is what we call an elevated community, so we're doing really high-end features in a smaller lot setting. I think it's a phenomenal subdivision, and we look forward to finishing that one up.
I want to thank you for taking the time, sitting in this beautiful home and talking about your latest projects, latest features, everything you're bringing to Southwest Washington. And for our viewers, if you have any information, everything will be below about Cascade West, about this project and any others. So definitely subscribe and like us on our following. Thank you. So if you want to know more information about us living in PNW, about the parade, or about the builder, please click below and subscribe, and we'd love you to follow what's happening here in the living in PNW.
If you are currently living in the PNW or considering moving to the PNW, make sure you reach out. We get calls and emails every day from people who are thinking of relocating or moving to this area, and we absolutely love it. We love to be a source of information for you. So if you have any questions or just want to give us a comment, let us know the types of videos that you want us to make for you, or just have a question. Make sure you get in touch in the link down below in the description.